How would it feel to have a thriving fitness business and have the freedom to enjoy life at the fullest? Well, that is exactly what the Trainer Revenue Multiplier show is going to give you. My name is Mathew Park. This is Jaime Filer.
Hey guys.
And we are here to serve.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Trainer Revenue Multiplier podcast. I am joined by my co-host on Coach's Corner, Mr. Isaac Miller, the OG prolific PT himself. How are things going in your world, sir?
Going great. I can't complain. Just in beautiful Kansas City, serving people the best I can. How are you?
I'm exceptional. I'm in Massachusetts with my fake tan glow coming off my dubs from this weekend's bodybuilding competition, but everything is great. Everything is great. Thank you. Thank you. So we are here for our monthly Coach's Corner meeting, debriefing. Isaac, as soon as I said, who do you want to discuss? It wasn't more than 60 seconds that you came back to me with this guy. What was it about his story that you're like, the people on the podcast need to hear about his growth?
Yeah. So for the sake of privacy, I'll just call him Jay. And when Jay started with TRM, he was overwhelmed. He was working a corporate job in sales, which is already pretty demanding, and doing like pretty high ticket sales, like $50,000, $60,000, $80,000, offers and packages that he was selling. But his own business was struggling. He was primarily a bodybuilding coach and physique enhancement coach, and he had like 50 plus people on his roster with zero systems and zero tracking, zero metric tracking, and really undercharging for his value.
Okay. And give me, okay, so obviously we're going to discuss the middle, but give me the end. Like, where is he now? You've painted the picture of where hell is, but where's he at now that makes this such a Cinderella story that you wanted to bring him to Coach's Corner?
Yeah, so he was actually able to quit his corporate job that was causing massive burnout, not enough time to actually work on his business, and not enough time with his family, because he has, quite a few kids as well. I believe 4 kids, and, a partner that he really wanted to spend, more time with. So he's able to walk away from that. And we actually are now having him earn 10K months, which was something that he hadn't hit in his training business, even with all those clients.
Incredible. All right. So let's start with the end. Did he quit his corporate training job? Okay. Did you set a goal of having him quit by a certain date when he would be able to replace his income? Or did it happen organically? Like, hey, Isaac, I'm so busy, I have to give up my corporate job. How did you work? Yeah. Tell me from the end backwards.
So he always had a goal of quitting his corporate job, but it wasn't really something that we set in stone yet. I think there was a lot of hesitancy on being able to actually do that. But I remember, he had a call with Mathew because things were so hectic. He was, starting to hit the point of overwhelm that he needed a break. And so he scheduled a call with Mathew. And Mathew kind of had a for lack of a better term, come to Jesus meeting with him of, what are your priorities? What is it that you want for your future?
Yeah.
And so then they scheduled another call. And on the second call, Mathew already went into it kind of reading the energy.
Okay.
And he doesn't even say hi. He doesn't do an intro. He just looks at Jay and goes, "What's the date?"
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay.
Jay responds back saying, "Yesterday, I already quit."
Okay. So there's that. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay. Now we can start at the beginning. How was he running his business and his systems that he had such a large roster? And what did the rest of his life look like?
So I should start with, he's an amazing coach with a huge portfolio of amazing transformations. So his organic lead generation just from referrals was really high, but he was massively undercharging, like massively undercharging for the level of service and quality of results that he was able to bring.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the first thing. Of he had like 50 clients. I think only when we actually did the breakdown, only like 40 of them were even paying him.
1 second. We should pause. Side quest. How do you train clients who aren't paying you? Also, why do you train clients who aren't paying you?
So some were like friends, some were like clients of his way, way, way back when he first started. And so it just, to him, felt weird to ask for money. Some were just lost in the sauce and hadn't paid for months, and he didn't even realize because there were no real systems.
Gotcha.
And he just kept coaching them because they kept doing the check-ins.
That. Okay. Got it. So this is okay. So then you come in and he gives all of that to you, Isaac. You take a look at his intake form, essentially his questionnaire, where he's at. Where do you even begin as a coach when Jay is essentially, for lack of a better term, a hot mess?
He has great emotional intelligence.
Okay.
So he was able to stay even keeled.
Yeah.
And whenever I threw all this, things we need to get done to better manage and track everything, he was like, okay, cool. And he executed. And so first it was like, let's actually map out which clients are in which package.
Oh,
then after
nice.
we do that, let's map out how much each client is paying. And after that, we map out how many clients are current, how many clients are delinquent, and how many clients are free.
Brilliant.
And that gave us an actual look as to what the operations were.
Oh my God. Okay. All right. And once you saw all of that and he saw the freebies and the delinquent, how did you convince a guy with a big heart to essentially start charging? What was that mindset shift? How did you Alvin Brown that?
So to be fair, there were some people he was just very adamant on not charging, which I understand given the emotional attachment to those clients. But I said, just because you don't charge them doesn't mean that they can't bring value back to you as a trade for that service. So then we actually mapped out kind of a sponsorship offer in which then he asked them consistently for referrals, for introductions, and for like a certain amount of like social media engagement or just local engagement every week or month.
Okay.
And then the other ones, it was messaging all the people who are delinquent and reminding them that they had a payment due and getting them back onto a payment schedule, incorporating reoccurring payment links so that he didn't have to send a new payment link every time or have anything built out. It just automatically withdrew. And now in the engine, he'll be able to see if someone's actually not paying and not current, and it'll flag. And then the last thing was then upping his rates.
Okay. Okay. And what was a comfortable jump for him, if you don't mind me asking, or an uncomfortable jump for him?
An uncomfortable jump. I mean, we set his baseline rates at probably, I think, $150 to $200 more than what he was charging per month.
Amazing. Okay.
But to make that palatable on his current clients, that wouldn't, because we didn't want him to end up losing half of his current thing.
For sure. Yeah. You want to be fair. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And so we wanted to make sure that it was comfortable. So we had him do just systematic jumps up with them. And he laid that out from the start as well, of like, hey, for the next, 2 months, we're going to go to this price point. And then 2 months after, and then after that, it'll go up to this price point, and that'll be the final jump, and you'll be locked in at that rate.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Love it. Okay. So you mentioned something kind of offhand, but it's worth diving into. You said we got him set up on the engine so that he'd know when payments didn't go through, this and that. Isaac, how do you convince systems to invest in the engine? Because it's so foreign, it's super components to it.
Yeah. So I mean, he's a sales guy in his actual, like when he was in his corporate job. So understanding CRMs and sales and funnels and lead nurture and stuff is not a foreign concept.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I think we're still early in the adoption of the engine right now. So it's still not something that we fully onboarded yet. It's something that we brought in more recently, but it's already paying dividends in the way he can manage and lead and nurture. And so then we got his systems in place. Then after the systems were in place, all the clients were either upgraded to a better price point, actually paying, or gone. And to be fair, the churn rate from that was extremely low. Like it was like maybe 6% after raising the rates. Most people were like, yeah, that makes sense. You're a great coach. And so it was no big deal. So then after all that, it was like, all right, now we can bring you on new clients.
Okay. Which is the next phase, because how do you get someone who's, kind of shifting his business model, new clients? What did you do differently for his lead gen?
Again, he executed. I had him showcase his services and use his database. So we went through his database of old clients, and a lot came back. He started posting more consistently on social media, actually talking to the pain points of his clients. And then with that, he would always get a lot of organic engagement with his posts, but there was no follow-up in terms of like an actual thought process of like, oh, that person commented, that person could probably be a client, right? And so we started incorporating that and incorporating the actual, like, systemizing the touch points between when someone comments or engages or messages him and them actually booking a consult. And I kid you not, 1 week, like we had our coaching call, we established this kind of SOP framework. By the end of that week, he had 7 new clients.
Oh my God. Wait, so if you don't mind backing up for a second, Isaac, how many sales calls did he have? And then tell me about the client, like how many clients he signed.
Half of them he didn't even have to call. They just wanted to sign up in the DMs.
Shut up. This story is like unrealistic, but amazing. I think it's worth noting that, guys, that doesn't typically happen, but look what happens. I think Isaac's already said twice, he is an executor. So we're not saying follow us blindly. If you work with us as TRM, as Jaime and Isaac and Mathew, or you have another business coach, or you're just like listening to The Game by Alex Hormozi, just do it and stick to it. And then like see it through to determine whether it's a worthwhile course of action or not. I think that's a really important lesson too.
Yeah, and the big thing too is that he had the power of the reticular activating system working for him and not against him. And let me explain this a little bit. So that reticular activating system, which you did amazing at laying out today in our TRM Gold call. So those of you who aren't in Gold, you better get in because you're going to learn high-powered tactics like this. But the RAS is essentially this filtration system within our ocular nerves, like the way our actual eyes take in data and information and filters it through our brain. And so we have this part of our brain, I believe it's the prefrontal cortex or the hippocampus, that like actually says like, oh, this is a danger, stay away, or oh, this is good, go to it.
Yeah.
But if we put too much mental focus, like we actually cognitively think about something, it starts to change what this RAS system highlights. And so whenever we went over this new SOP, I just simply told him every single person that engages with you is a potential lead.
Brilliant.
And he immediately kicked on that RAS system, and he saw every potential person that engaged as a potential lead. And this is where I think a lot of people fail, is that they will get, say, 20 people to engage. Their RAS only lets them pick up on 3 or 4 out of the 20. They don't even see the other, 17. And out of those 3 or 4, one of them might be ready to buy. 3 of them need to, do that consult. And out of the consult, like it's a game at that point. For him, he was able to see all 20 as potential leads And out of that 20, the 3 or 4 that most people would have to nurture and put through into a call and then nurture on the call and do the follow-ups, he still had to do that for those.
Yeah.
But he still had so many more in that list of potential leads that were hot leads, on fire, ready to sign up, because of the value he was putting out in his content and the transformations and the testimonials that he was putting out. So it was a lot easier for him to activate those and to sell those, and to close those, and to serve them at the highest level, because he didn't let any leads fall through the cracks from the very beginning.
I love that. I love that. Okay. So Isaac, sum up and leave you with nothing to end on, but I know that you're going to drop a wisdom ball, but if I can succinctly summarize Jay's story based on what I've heard, the 3 biggest ways he got to where he is now with your guidance is, number 1, his emotional intelligence. He's just great at reading people. He is a people person, whether it's his sales background, like chicken and egg, doesn't matter. Jay's a great people person. Number 2, Jay's a great executor. You tell him to do something, he does it. He does it well, and he sees it through the end. And number 3, he executes systems specifically. You tell him to do something, he organizes it first, right? Like you said, like he organized his client roster first, and then he organized the engine, and then now he's organizing his leads, right? So those, it sounds like, are the 3 biggest differences from, pre-Isaac Jay to like where Jay is at in his business now. Could that be accurate? Is that accurate?
Yeah. But honestly, I can't take all the credit. He listens to the gold calls and, implements that. He was on the gold call today. He's had calls with Mathew where he really listens and hones in on what Mathew brings up. He's had calls with Laurent, really listens to that. And he listens to, it's the whole team. It's the entire TRM leadership team and core team that he's been able to really see some drastic growth in his business.
Sweet. All right. Give us one more nugget that someone who isn't Jay can apply. Finish us off strong, please.
So if you're wanting to truly scale your fitness business, and my mind might change on this in the future, but from right now where I stand with the clients that I've helped and my own business, the best way to get to this point is to first understand your offers, build out your offers, understand your offers. The second is to systemize the delivery of those offers. Mm-hmm. The third is to set boundaries. So when you do deliver those offers, you are able to actually deliver that product to the highest of your ability. And the fourth is to execute on letting more people know, and to let the people who are already buying from you, deliver them such a great service that they rave about it and let more people know about it.
I knew you'd have something to add. Amazing. Isaac, where can people find you? How can they be like Jay?
Yeah, so if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's at The Prolific Professor, or follow at Trainer Revenue Multiplier, and see all of the awesome stuff that we have to offer. And then if you go to your awesome little email icon, whether that's, iCloud email or Gmail or Yahoo or Hotmail or AOL, if you're still doing that, you can always email me at isaac@trainerrevenuemultiplier.com and ask any questions you have about what we do and how we serve.
Perfect. Amazing, guys. I am at Jaime91. We are at Trainer Revenue Multiplier. If you like what you heard, make sure you rate, share, subscribe. And again, message Isaac and or I if you have questions and to get your business off the ground. We want to help. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and we'll catch you on the next episode.